This is Joe and Linda from our apartment building here in Summerside. Yes, we are home, but we're on our last day of quarantine, so we thank you for those that did come visit off our porch or our veranda. But anyway, we're going to read some scripture today on this Easter day.
I'm going to read John 19, 1 through 14. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged severely. The soldiers braided a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they clothed him in a purple robe. Then they came up to him again and again and said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they struck him repeatedly in the face. Again Pilate went out and said to the Jewish leaders, "Look, I am bringing him out to you, so that you may know that I find no reason for an accusation against him." So Jesus came outside wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said to them, "Look, here is the man." When the chief priests and their officers saw him, they shouted out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate said, "You take him and crucify him. Certainly I find no reason for an accusation against him." The Jewish leaders replied, "We have a law, and according to our law, he ought to die, because he claimed to be the Son of God." When Pilate heard what they said, he was more afraid than ever. And he went back to the governor's residence and said to Jesus, "Where do you come from?" But Jesus gave him no answer. So Pilate said, "Do you refuse to talk to me? Don't you know that I have the authority to release you and to crucify you?" Jesus replied, "You would have no authority over me at all, unless it was given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of greater sin." From this point on, Pilate tried to release him, but the Jewish leaders shouted out, "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar. Everyone who claims to be a king opposes Caesar." When Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus outside and sat down on the judgment seat in the place called the Stone Pavement, Gabbatha in Aramaic. Now it was the day of preparation for the Passover, about noon. Pilate said to the Jewish leaders, "Look, here is your king."
Did you hear what they were shouting as they flogged him? "Hail to the King!" They beat him, put crowns of thorn on his head, and they covered him with purple robe. A purple robe, a true sign of someone in authority, royalty, someone to be honored and respected. But the soldiers couldn't get past the law. They were afraid if they didn't carry out the law, they would be next to be crucified. Afraid they would lose their authority. Blinded by the law, they became part of history. Jesus, in obedience to die on the cross for you and us, to carry our sin to the cross so we can rejoice in life and be set free. I know things are confusing right now. If Jesus is all powerful, why is he letting this disease ravage our world? Why are we experiencing this trouble? He's the king. All I can say is I believe he's in control. And for that, we celebrate this day.
Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Hail, hail to the King.